And it was when I was doing my research on that lake that I discovered this treasure trove of data, detailed bathymetric maps, stocking data, fish presence, absence information that had been literally collecting dust on the shelves. And this is back before the internet was really a thing. So I'd go into the office, pull out these files, and you'd see these incredible, and I love maps, and detailed bathymetry is like a gold mine for most anglers. So I thought, well, why don't I start publishing fishing maps and start telling the story of these lakes? Now, I like to fish, but I'm not that go-to angler. I can catch a few fish, but I know there's a lot of people out there fish a lot better than me. So I want to tell their stories. So we started doing these things. And for those who don't recognize them, they're called magazines. We'll see. So these are sort of lake maps where you can tell stories. And we did this, and published it on the website as well. And so we started that in 1999. And that's generally how we sort of built up an inventory of lakes across the country, about 250,000 across Canada. And we started sharing all this information free for anglers. One of the cool things, we noticed anglers started sharing information back. And it was about 5 years ago when I was at the World Recreational Fisheries Conference in Victoria that it really dawned on me. All these research scientists I was sitting around, and I'm a scientist as well by training, were lamenting the challenges. I mean, this map behind me of Canada, there's easily 1 million fish-bearing waters, probably closer to 10 million, depending on how you define the water bodies. And we know virtually nothing on the current state of the vast majority of them. And it's because conventional methods are very expensive, whether you do netting surveys, electrofishing, creel surveys, they're very expensive to follow. And so as a result, most of the water bodies go unmonitored. Because we get about 1 million anglers on our platform each year, I thought, well, let's see if we can start working with these anglers to start filling in some of the gaps. And that was sort of where MyCatch started from in 2018. I think the first year, over 4,000 water bodies cataloged across the country. And I was like, this is good. So we've actually brought on a number of research scientists that we work with. And we just had our first paper on that published last year in the Canadian Journal of Fisheries and Aquatic Sciences. And it showed that just that first test of MyCatch data is very similar to the creel surveys and to the traditional mail-in surveys that DFO does every 5 years. We got very similar data. This is where the tournaments come in, because that's really where we've supercharged this platform. And we thought, well, we've got the app as a citizen science tool. Let's see if we can start running catch, photo, release tournaments. So strong conservation message. Fish goes back into the water within a minute, ideally, but you get high resolution data. Now we have to be very careful on the data, and we have to respect the anglers. So we make a promise to anglers: the secret spots stay secret. We use the data for analysis. Any researchers we work with, and we're working with well over a dozen, will have to sign a data sharing agreement where it's explicitly laid out that they can't release latitude and longitude. But we want that data used for science. So we want them to be able to publish this stuff, but they have to make sure they respect the privacy of the angler. And so the data is anonymized when it's shared with them, and the latitude and longitude cannot be released. So I think we've come up with a really good balance at that point. And then since the tournaments have taken off, that's really opened it's hard to explain how much it's open from a science perspective, because every tournament now we can structure based on the rules and the prizing as an experiment. So anyways, I'll zip it here, and I'll let you jump back in, Mike.